Lesson 3, Honeybee. Class 10C, Summary of the Lesson. Types of bees in a hive. Queen bee, largest bee in the hive. Main function is to lay eggs and control hive activities. Lives for 2 to 5 years. Drone bee, larger than worker bees but smaller than the queen. Laziest bee in the hive, fed by worker bees. Main function is to fertilize the queen. Worker bee, smallest and most numerous. Functions include collecting nectar, building the hive, and caring for the young. Lifespan ranges from 6 weeks to 6 months. A life cycle of honeybees, 4 stages. 1 egg lasts for 3 days. 2 larva lasts for 5.5 days, queen, 6 days, worker, 7 days, drone. 3 pupa lasts for 8 days, queen, 12 days, worker, 14 days, drone. 4 adult emerges from the pupa stage to take on hive responsibilities. Functions and benefits of honeybees. Work division. Queen lays eggs and regulates hive activities. Drone fertilizes the queen. Worker collects nectar, builds the hive, cares for larvae, and protects the hive. Honey production. Honey is made from nectar by evaporating water content. Contains 80 to 85% carbohydrates, 15 to 17% water, 0.3% protein, and 0.2% amino acids. Benefits of honeybees: encourages social behaviors like discipline and teamwork, produces honey used in food and medicine, facilitates pollination, aiding crop production, produces beeswax for cosmetics and other products. Farmers can earn money through apiculture. Multiple choice questions. 1. Which bee contains only 16 chromosomes? Drone bee. 2. From where is royal jelly produced? From the gland at the head of the worker bee. 3. Which bee is formed when the larva is fed royal jelly continuously? Queen 4. Which stage of the bee is shown in the given diagram? 5. Why is the honey bee called a social insect? It lives in a colony. 6. When the pollen baskets in the legs of worker bees are broken by certain means, which function cannot be performed by them? 7. Which of the following is a characteristic of the drone bee? Haploid, fertile, medium-sized, hairy. 8. Where does the queen bee store the sperm received from the drone bee after the nuptial flight? Sperm sac, spermatheca. Short answer, questions 1. Differentiate between a drone and a worker bee. Drone bees are male and their main function is to mate with the queen. Worker bees are female and perform various tasks such as foraging, hive maintenance, and caring for larvae. 2. Differentiate between a queen bee and a worker bee. The queen bee is the only egg-laying female and is larger in size with a longer lifespan. Worker bees are infertile females responsible for various hive duties. 3. Differentiate between a queen bee and a drone. The queen bee is the fertile female responsible for laying eggs, while the drone is a male bee whose primary role is to mate with the queen. Long answer questions. 1. Honey bee is called a social insect. Honeybees are termed social insects due to their complex social structure and cooperative behavior. They live in large colonies with a clear division of labor among different types of bees, such as workers, drones, and queens. Each bee has a specific role to play in the hive, contributing to the survival and success of the colony. 2. Pasture land is required for bee farming. Pasture land is beneficial for bee farming as it often has diverse flowering plants. These provide bees with nectar and pollen, their primary food sources. This diversity contributes to the health of the bee colony and the quality of the honey. Additionally, dedicated bee pastures can help increase bee populations and benefit the environment by encouraging plant diversity and aiding in pollination. 3. Drone dies after mating. A drone bee dies after mating because the act of mating is fatal for him. During mating, the drone's reproductive organ, endophallus, is everted inside out and torn from his body, which causes severe injury leading to his death. This is a natural part of the honeybee's reproductive process, ensuring that only the strongest drones pass on their genes to the next generation. 4. Bees are multi-purpose insects. Bees are considered multi-purpose insects for several reasons. Pollination. They play a crucial role in pollinating plants, which is essential for plant reproduction and food production. Honey production. Bees produce honey, a natural sweetener with various uses, including medicinal. Beeswax, another valuable product from bees used in making candles, cosmetics, and as a food additive. 5. Write the various types of bees found in the hive. In a bee hive, there are 3 types of bees, each with a specific role. Queen bee, the only egg-laying female in the hive. Worker bees, female bees that perform all the work of the hive. Drone bees, male bees whose sole purpose is to mate with the queen. 6. What is the function of the drone bee? The drone bee's function is to mate with the queen. 7. If the queen bee dies for some reason, who will control the hive? If the queen bee dies, the worker bees will take steps to create a new queen. They will select a young larva and feed it royal jelly, which helps it develop into a fertile queen. During this time, the worker bees continue their roles in the hive until the new queen is ready to take over. This process ensures the hive remains functional and the colony survives. 8. How does the queen bee control other members of the hive? The queen bee controls other members of the hive primarily through pheromones, which are chemical signals that influence the behavior and development of the colony. These pheromones help maintain the unity and function of the hive. 9. Write the uses of honey. Honey has a variety of uses, including natural sweetener. It's commonly used to sweeten foods and drinks. Medicinal properties. Helps soothe sore throats and can aid in healing wounds. Skincare. Due to its moisturizing and antibacterial properties, it's used in beauty products. Culinary. An ingredient in various recipes and also used as a preservative. 10. Describe the structure of the queen bee. The queen bee has a unique structure that distinguishes her from other bees in the hive. Size, she is larger, especially her abdomen, which is elongated to carry many eggs. Wings, her wings are shorter than those of worker bees and drones, as she rarely flies. Reproductive organs, she has fully developed reproductive organs for laying eggs. 11. Mention the functions of the worker bee. Worker bees, which are all female, have several vital functions in the hive. Foraging, they collect nectar and pollen from flowers. Honey production, they make honey from the nectar. Hive building, they build and maintain the hive using beeswax. Caring for young, they feed and take care of the larvae and the queen. 12. Explain how the division of labor occurs in bees. The division of labor in honeybees is a highly organized system. Queen bee lays eggs and regulates hive activities by secreting pheromones. Drone bee fertilizes the queen and helps maintain the hive's warmth. Worker bee keeps the hive warm and clean, feeds honey bread to larvae, produces royal jelly to feed larvae and the queen, produces wax from wax glands, uses sting glands to protect the hive, collects nectar, pollen, and water. 13. Explain the life cycle of a honeybee with a diagram. The life cycle of a honeybee consists of 4 main stages. Egg. The queen bee lays eggs, each in its own cell. If the egg is fertilized, it will become a worker bee, female. If it's not fertilized, it will become a drone, male. To create a new queen, worker bees select a small larva and feed it a diet of royal jelly. Larva. The larva stage lasts about 6 days. During this time, the larva undergoes a rapid growth phase, fed by worker bees. The type of food and the amount depend on whether the larva is destined to become a worker, drone, or queen. Pupa. After the larva stage, the cell is capped and the larva transforms into a pupa. During this stage, the pupa develops the characteristics of an adult bee, such as wings, legs, and a segmented body. Adult. The adult bee emerges from the cell. Workers begin their life in the hive, performing tasks such as cleaning and feeding the larvae. As they age, they take on tasks outside the hive, like foraging for nectar and pollen. Drone's primary purpose is to mate with a new queen. The queen's job is to lay eggs. The entire process from egg to adult takes about 21 days for worker bees, 24 days for drones, and 16 days for a queen. 10. What is the process called in which a drone is developed from an unfertilized egg? The process in which a drone, a male honeybee, is developed from an unfertilized egg is known as parthenogenesis. This is a form of asexual reproduction where the egg develops into an organism without fertilization. In honeybees, this process specifically leads to the creation of drones. Parthenogenesis is a natural occurrence in the bee colony that ensures the production of male bees, which are essential for mating with the queen and the propagation of the species. Drones do not have fathers and carry only the genetic material of the queen. 11. When a farmer practices bee farming, the income of other farmers in that locality also increases. Justify your reason. Bee farming, also known as apiculture, can positively impact the income of other farmers in the locality due to the crucial role bees play in pollination. Improved yields. Bees enhance pollination, increasing crop yields and farmers' income. Better quality. Bee pollination improves fruit and vegetable quality, fetching higher market prices. Biodiversity. Bees support local biodiversity, leading to a more resilient and productive ecosystem. Cost savings. Farmers save on artificial pollination costs, boosting their net income. Market demand. Higher quality produce attracts more buyers, increasing overall market demand and prices. Cross-pollination. Bees pollinate various crops, benefiting multiple farmers in the area. Due to the problem of pasture land in the beekeeping area, the beekeepers shifted the bees from there. After that, there was a reduction in the yield of mustard crops of nearby farmers. Based on this, explain the relationship between beekeeping and agriculture production. The relationship between beekeeping and agricultural production is highlighted by the scenario where the removal of bees led to a reduction in mustard crop yields. This situation underscores the following points. Pollination services. Bees play a critical role in pollinating crops. Their absence directly impacts crop yields, as seen with the mustard crops. Dependency on bees. Many crops, including mustard, rely heavily on bees for effective pollination. Without bees, the quality and quantity of these crops decline. Yield reduction. The reduction in mustard crop yields after bees were shifted demonstrates how integral bees are to maintaining and boosting agricultural productivity. Interconnected ecosystem. The health and productivity of agricultural systems are closely linked to the presence of pollinators like bees. Economic impact. Reduced yields due to lack of pollination can lead to economic losses for farmers, emphasizing the economic importance of beekeeping in agricultural areas. Please provide the concept map image or specific details to complete the missing parts accurately. If you describe the elements or share the image, I can fill in the gaps accordingly. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe.